So it got me thinking. I was watching Netflix the other night and I saw Exploding Kittens come on the screen. And I went, how many other board games have actually adapted and turned into TV shows? I couldn't think of anything else. So Exploding Kittens is setting that benchmark, but I thought to myself, what a fun video idea to think of 10 other board game iconic characters that we could turn into a TV series. So let's go check out my top 10 iconic board game characters. If we're gonna make a TV series just like Exploding Kittens, well, we're gonna need an actual story. So I'm gonna give you my TV plot for every one of these characters. So let's get straight into this top 10. And a massive thank you to Donna for this suggestion, the Isle of Cats. Now, the Isle of Cats is a polyomino tile placement game where you're rescuing different types of cats and putting them on your boat. You're trying to rescue them from Squall's End, which is an island from the evil Lord Vesh. Now, that's the actual story, but look, we need an actual TV show. So we're gonna be starring Bluey right down here. Now, Bluey, he started a rebellion. He was one of the rescued cats early on, but from all those rescued cats, he created a rebellion to go back to the island and actually take on the evil Lord Vesh. But here's the plot twist. The evil Lord Vesh is actually his father. Number 9, and we have Spirit Island. Now on Spirit Island, you're going to be playing as one of many spiritual elements trying to protect the island and also protect the inhabitants from those evil invaders coming in trying to take over the island. Now, who is going to be the main character? Well, I've decided the main character will be Lightning. Now, Lightning has been outcast by the other spiritual elements, mainly because he has a shocking sense of humor. Anyway, so he's been driven out. But what's happened is, in the meantime, the invaders have come in and they've actually taken over the island, and the other elemental powers, they're struggling, they're basically on their last legs, and in comes Lightning to save the day. I think this sounds like one of those great redeeming stories, redemption story. Spirit Island, my number 9. Number 8, and we have Cubitos. Or is it Cubitos? Either way, you're gonna be playing as one of the main participants racing in the annual Cube Cup. This is gonna be a bag builder using dice. You'll be rolling those dice, trying to race along this track, trying to avoid obstacles and obviously win the Cube Cup. Now the beautiful thing is, we already have an iconic lead main character, Ledercheesen. Now Ledercheesen grew up in a rural German village, and all he wanted to do ever since he was a tiny little piece of cheese was race in this Cube Cup. And this is where the story is. Look, he's obviously packed up his Volkswagen, he's got all of his sausage in there and his beer, Prost, and he is ready to go enter this Cube Cup. Look, this could be a great wacky racer type series. I think it's an iconic, almost SpongeBob-esque lead character. Is just perfect for a TV series. And that's my number 8, Cubitos, or Cubitos, or Cubitos. Number 7, and we have a lot of similarities to our last one. This time we have Altiplano. This is another bag builder. This is also a game with another main iconic character, central character on the front of the box. But this time, look, the bag builder is, we've got resources. We are an alpaca in the middle of the Andes going around different locations on the board, trying to collect these resources, eventually putting them in our warehouse, scoring points and winning. Altiplano is a famous bag builder because it's famous because of its predecessor, Orleans. Orleans was a great game. So Altiplano had a lot to live up to, but so did this alpaca. And my TV show meets Alpi, the alpaca, who's gonna be, I guess, a bit of a mischievous little alpaca, just having the time of his life. You know, all just a bit of flowers and butterflies and fairies and loving life. But a chance encounter with a traveler named Eduardo. And Eduardo has a sinister past. Look, he's not there just to be friends with Alpi. He has a penchant for fine furs, and he wants the finest alpaca sweater in all of the Andes. Look, it's gonna be a great TV show where the alpaca is as clueless as anything, while the old traveler is trying everything possible to get that fur. Great idea. Altiplano, go make that right now. Now my number 6 is probably the most unique and out there idea. What I have for you is the Mind. Now the Mind is a game of cards. It is cards numbered from 1 to 100, and you're trying to order these cards in ascending order. Now it's a cooperative game where you're playing with people around the table, but the problem is you can't talk with your neighbors. So you know your cards, you know your numbers, but how are you gonna get it from 1 to 100 if you can't talk? Well, it's a bit of luck, a bit of a wink, perhaps even a bit of a prayer to get it happening, but this is a great party game. Now look, unlike other games on this list, the Mind truly doesn't have a backstory. All we've got is one image at the front and some ninja stars to go off. So in my head, we have a spirit rabbit here named Bruce. And Bruce, look, he's a bit of a hippie. He has that hippie medallion there, but he's also a ninja. But I think he's a bit of an, I guess, inept ninja. Look, this is going to be an anime style series where Bruce, the inept, really bad ninja, certainly no Cobra Kai, uses the power of hippie, the power of love, and maybe a bit of luck with some ninja stars to take on 100 different enemies. So imagine there's 1 to 100 episodes, just like the Mind, and in each one, somehow, with a bit of luck, he wins the day. Look, not every iconic character needs to have a backstory. Sometimes we can just use our imagination. Number 6, the Mind. Flamecraft is a 2022 worker placement game where we're in a magical world where dragons just roam the shops and they actually help out with the shops. You are a flamekeeper. Your skill is actually conversing with dragons, and you're gonna be running these shops, you're gonna be conversing with these dragons using some magical enchantments perhaps. It's a whimsical world, and I love the art from Sendara Tang. So where am I gonna go with this TV series? Well, this TV series is gonna star Reddy right here, Reddy the Dragon. Now, Reddy the Dragon is gonna be voiced by Ryan Reynolds, and I want this in particular because Reddy is gonna be quite a quirky and very cheeky dragon. Now he's new to town and all these other dragons have already established their cliques and their shops, and how is Reddy going to stand out? Look, we know he has a love for food, but he is just going to eventually win over the hearts and minds with a bit of cheeky humour. Just the way I'm imagining Ryan Reynolds doing it right now. Look, that is my Flamecraft TV series. I'm 100% on board. I don't know how much Ryan costs, but I'm sure it's pretty cheap. Let's make this one, Flamecraft, my number 5. Number 4, and we have Root. Root is an asymmetric war game. We're going to be playing as one of 4 different factions. The cats right now have most of the woodlands and they're going to be starting off as the strongest. Then you're going to have the birds. They're going to be trying to fight back because historically they've had that eerie flag raised over the woodlands and they want to bring back their former glory. This is rounded out also by the mice and also the vagabond trash panda, the raccoon there. But look, what I want to do is talk about how does a war game work in a TV series. Now, this is a very strong war game with an animal theme, which we all know I love a good animal theme. But how can we turn a war game into a truly proper TV series? Well, think things like Rambo. In my version of this TV series, you're going to be playing as that vagabond, that single character. He's single-handedly going to take on the cats, the birds, the mice, and he's going to take over one by one, defeating all of them to have the woodland to himself. Look, all he's armed with is a knife and a charismatic smile. I think this could be a very much a one versus many TV show that could be an absolute hit. This is my number 4, and this is Root. Takenoko. This is an entry-level game where players are going to be cultivating and irrigating and then eventually growing bamboo on their lands. Now we've got one small problem here. Actually, it's a very big, fat problem. We have a panda who likes to keep eating all that bamboo. Now you've also got the royal gardener, the emperor. He put one guy in charge to make sure that these bamboo sticks stay nice and beautiful for the gardens. Well, unfortunately, that poor old gardener is struggling because this old fat panda has a very ravenous appetite for those different color bamboo sticks. Now, in my story, I'm harking back to my memories of watching the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. Now, the Roadrunner in this instance is going to be the panda, just going around going la 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 la, eating his bamboo, while Wile E. Coyote is going to be that gardener who's going to be laying traps, trying to catch the panda at every turn. But alas, he fails at every turn, and that's what's going to make this a great, funny cartoon series based on Takenoko, the board game. Now, Everdell. In my original video, I had this as my number 1, but I think I let my heart overrule my brain, and just because I love this game so much, I don't think this is the number 1. Now, What Everdell is, it's a worker placement tableau builder where you're going to be collecting resources, trading those resources in for more cards and building out your tableau. Now, all these cards are based around these animals, and these animals are just going to be living their world in the world of Everdell. So they're going to be shopkeepers, and they're going to be lawyers and post officers and all sorts of things. It's a beautiful game, and if you've never played it, please try Everdell. Now, what we have here is we already have a world established, and this is where my problem lies. I have a book here which tells me everything I need to know about the backstory of Everdell and the story of Corin Evertail, who pretty much started Everdell. The thing is, you wouldn't change this world. You would just work on this story and make a cartoon TV series about it. It's already made up, and the thing is, it's perfect. I just legit wouldn't change a thing about this world, nor this art, nor these characters. Now, the thing is, I think you've got to sort of have a central main character, and maybe your central main character is that Corin Evertail and you're telling that story, but realistically, your main character could be anyone of this world, just living their world and the world from their particular set of eyes. It's just an endless possibility, and my number 2 is Everdell. So I flipped my 1 and 2 around, and why did I do that? Well, it got me thinking, what is Exploding Kittens? It is a mass market franchise to a large audience who just knows and loves that type of artwork. What is Unstable Unicorns? Exact same thing. Mass market games. You have Unstable Unicorns, Here to Slay, casting shows, and the latest one, Command of Nature. It's mass produced board games for a very wide audience. And that's why this would be the most obvious pick for the next TV show. Now, out of all of these, which way would I go if I was creating a TV series? Well, I thought about it and I went with the latest game, Command of Nature. Now, Command of Nature, you are a summoner, and you're going to be summoning these powers of Twig, Leaf, Droplet, and Pebble. And it's going to be a deck builder game. But the main thing is you have those 4 elemental powers. Now, this has been done before. If I was to create a plot, it'd be super easy for me to just replicate Avatar, The Last Airbender. That would be great. Or perhaps we go down the Raya, the Last Dragon path. I think that would be pretty cool. And maybe in my story, Pebble's gonna be the main character, because I think Pebble's the cutest out of all 4 of them. And look, maybe Pebble is trying to bring back these four elements. Perhaps maybe they've all got greedy, and over the years, they've all wanting to branch out and maybe take over the island that they're all on. But perhaps maybe Twig wants to bring them all back to how they used to be back in the day. I think that could be a nice way to write this story. Again, maybe it's because I really love Raya. It's probably my favorite Disney movie ever, but Command of Nature, I think that would be perfect in that sort of world. But obviously we need to change it a bit, but yeah, the world is our oyster right here with the Unstable franchise and especially Command of Nature. So that is my top 10 games that I think have iconic characters that could be converted into a TV series. So let me know in the comments below, what character would you choose to put in a TV series? I just think the board game world is so great for this because there's so many different places we could start at. I chose 10, I'd love to know what you think. Anyway, that's all I have. Till next time, I'm Hogs. This is The Bangers Project.